Welcome to our first ever Glass Case of Emotion podcast. I'm Ryan Blaney, sitting here with Kim Coon and Charles Bush. Welcome. It's going to be, we're going to talk about all things.
All things
in life, and see if we learn a little bit something about ourselves too while we're here.
I think
at
we
that.
might. Yeah.
Yeah.
A little self-exploration.
Yeah, we might learn things we like, things we don't like.
Yeah.
We're going to find them though.
They'll be there. It'll be there. All the things will be there.
Yeah.
We're going to touch on everything.
That sounds wildly sexual.
Yeah.
I mean, there are so many things to touch on in this world.
I love touching on things.
It's a tactile world, if you will. And it was a tactile weekend, if you... I'm going to say if you will again because I just said it. But it was a tactile weekend. There were a lot of big things that happened.
There are. It wasn't just a weekend. It was like 9 days of glory down in Daytona.
Yeah, the
was.
Oscars were great. I was, sorry.
I didn't see the Oscars. I had no idea, but Daytona was, it was long. It was a long 9 days. It's nice to be back. So,
Hey, man, though. Runner-up finish.
Well,
That's exciting.
Honestly, it's like almost worse than being like 10th because you can see,
You could see
what
it.
could have been, and
You
he's
could
right
taste
there.
it.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I could see it. I wasn't tasting anything, luckily, but it was a good run for us. We survived. It was a long day, but we survived and had a shot at it, which is all you can ask for. So,
I gotta ask. I mean, I know, when we started this whole thing, it was like, oh, let's not just talk about racing, because a lot of people talk about racing.
Mm-hmm.
But from a fan perspective, dude, when you dove down in there and made that run, holy shit. That was awesome.
Chuck got tingly.
Yeah, just from watching, like, last lap, Daytona 500, send it in there.
yeah, it worked out well. It almost worked out very well. It worked out okay. We got a big run off the 22, and everything just kind of played out to where they fanned out, and we kept our run going, and I just kind of stalled out behind the 41 there before we could pass them. But it was a good run. Hopefully it was exciting. I know it ran in single file line for the last 20 laps or so. It wasn't exciting. But the last lap was good. I hope everyone enjoyed it. The stands were packed. Did you guys see the stands?
It looked so good.
It was sold out. I think 101
Second consecutive year sellout.
people. Yeah, that's.
I mean, it's
cool
the
to see.
Daytona 500. That's a big race. Everybody wants to win that race too.
Everybody does. Yeah.
What would you give up to win the Daytona 500? Like, would you give up a year of beer? No beer for a year.
Yeah, that'd be easy. That'd be an easy one.
Would you give up a year of sex?
Yeah, I would. I want to win
that.
that Daytona 500 that bad. It's that big of a deal.
What about 5 years of sex?
Now I knew you were going to up the ante on that, and I'd still say yeah. I'd
Wow.
say like just sex, or can I
There's stipulations there. I would say no,
I mean-
like completely clean,
celibate?
celibate. Yeah.
Yeah, I could. I could do that.
5 years?
I feel like I'm
That's
disciplined
intense.
enough, and that's something I want that bad.
I don't drive, but I would not make that deal.
No. I don't know if there's anything that I personally want that much in life.
Would you give up everything Star Wars forever? Like, you can't see any new movies. You
Or
can't
talk
watch
about it.
any of the old movies to be
yeah,
a
I
Daytona
would give that
500
up.
champion.
I'd give that up.
Okay, how about this?
It's that big of a deal.
For the rest of your life, you have to watch C-SPAN
I don't know that.
and understand and engage with C-SPAN. You know, the government access channel that
You hate politics.
shows all of the live floor coverage of the House and Senate. For the rest of your life, that's the only thing you can watch.
I fucking hate politics, but
Okay,
yeah,
apparently.
I'd do almost anything.
Yeah,
pretty
I was going
much.
to say.
To win the Daytona 500.
Want to hit the button?
Fair.
There you go. We're waiting for
Breaking news.
first button hit.
Now
of
we're
the-
doing morning
the
DJ
year.
stuff.
Yeah. So
The
what else-
Morning Drive with Ryan Blaney.
What else happened recently? The Grammys?
The
talk about
Grammys
the
happened. The Oscars happened. It's award show season.
Oh yeah.
The thing is, the Oscars are always on the same day as the Daytona 500, or they tend to fall on the same day. So we don't ever get to watch them. I saw some clips though.
Yeah, I mean, there was the big gaffe of the weekend where Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway come out.
Do you know who those
I
people
don't know
are, Ryan?
either.
Have you ever seen the movie Bonnie and Clyde?
Warren,
No, I've
or
never seen that
Dick
movie.
Tracy. Dick Tracy.
I know both of those movie titles. I've never seen either of the
Okay.
movies.
Bullworth.
No, don't even know that title.
Okay. Anyway, so he and Faye Dunaway, who is an actress, were
She used to be hot back in the day.
Oh, I mean, she still
Just
kind
Google
of
her.
got it, man.
Yeah.
You know,
It's nice.
still,
It's a good name.
I mean, she's no Christy Brinkley, but
Correct. But they were presenting the award for Best Picture. And PricewaterhouseCoopers, the clearinghouse, but they do the security and put everything together to make sure that the envelopes are sealed. You don't know who's in there, and they hand them to the presenters. They come out. The wrong envelope got handed to them. They got the Best Actress one. So when they open it, you see Warren Beatty look at it and go,
so he saw Emma Stone's name with the picture La La Land, and he was a little confused.
Faye Dunaway just grabs it and goes, and La La Land wins Best Picture.
So it was like a Steve Harvey moment.
Yes.
Yeah. That you can't come back from that.
So the entire cast of La La Land comes up on stage, cast, crew, everybody. Directors.
Oscar in hand.
Like, we won. And then somebody comes out and says, yeah, about that. It's actually Moonlight.
Which those two films I saw both of those.
Right.
They could not have been more different.
Right. I mean, La La Land is an ode to 1930s
It's like Hollywood jacking themselves off.
Yeah.
That's why it got so many nominations.
And then Moonlight is
about a young, gay,
Miami.
black boy growing up in Miami.
Yeah.
Huh. I haven't seen either of those films or heard of them. They sound the same title-wise, but I guess they're a lot different, and it's unfortunate they had a Harvey moment. Like, you got one job. Like, if you're the envelope person, that's your job, to hand the right envelope to the presenters. And he's probably, it's like not turning fucking James Hetfield's mic on. I'm still mad about that.
You're
3
still
weeks
mad
later.
about the Grammy gaff.
The one thing, you have one job, and the guy messed up. It's unbelievable. It's terrible.
Breaking news. Ryan Blaney hates award show gaffes.
I hate it. It's terrible.
Were there any big gaffes down in Daytona? Like, did anything, like, stand out, like, during media day? Did anybody ask anything that was completely off the wall that you were like, because NFL media day for the Super Bowl, somebody's always there, like, dressed up as Batman asking weird questions.
Yeah.
That happened at Daytona media day? I wasn't down there.
I heard about one, Barstool Sports. Do you know who those people are?
Yeah.
Ever heard of Barstool? I did a podcast with those guys like a few months ago up in New York, and they seem like good guys. They don't know much about NASCAR at all, but they had one guy I was doing it with. He was interviewing some drivers, and I saw it. They put it on the internet, and like he had like no idea, and some drivers thought he was like stoned, and he had really long hair, and I think that was probably the weirdest part. I wasn't part of the interview, but I watched what they put out on the internet, and I was kind of like, bet that was really awkward for people.
I thought you were going somewhere else. I did see where the guy, like, he recorded something. I don't know if he was at Media Day, but he called it the Indy 500.
Yeah, it was the Weather Channel.
The Weather Channel guy, was really into the report, and he's like, yeah, everybody's really excited. Biggest race of the year, the Indy 500.
So, funny story about that. Former producer for NASCAR.com, Nicholas Duncan, who is a Kyle Busch lookalike, works at the Weather Channel now. And he actually does their Facebook Live stuff. So he was briefing this guy 2 minutes before he went on air on Facebook Live to interview, I think it might have been
It was Ryan Newman, which you could have not picked a worse driver, because Ryan's just going to be like.
So he briefed him and said, it's the Daytona 500. We're at Daytona International Speedway. Like, they're going, because they were at the Weather Channel Center in Atlanta.
Okay.
So he tells them about, we did a shoot there on NASCAR.com a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I did some weathering.
Yeah, green screen stuff.
Forecasting.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how quickly somebody can just lose that focus. You tell them 2 seconds before Daytona.
Yeah, well, it's another instance of not doing the one job.
Have
you're
one
in one
job.
job. It's in
One
one
job.
place you're at. That just shows that you don't care about racing.
Yeah,
What
we all
messed that up?
make mistakes though. Like when I don't think I've ever made a huge mistake like that. Like oh my God, I don't ever want to leave my house mistake. But I make like little mistakes.
Well, everyone makes mistakes.
And then
but
I
it's
just tell myself, like, is this really going to matter when I'm 6 feet under?
Well, I want to try this right here. It's a little bit of a transition, but I don't know if it's necessarily a mistake. But Joey Logano had some words towards the end of the Daytona 500.
Did he?
Yeah.
Ooh, let's
have
hear
it?
it.
Yeah, let's hear this. We have this
I
sound.
have this audio.
It's about to get fucking dumb. Well, 6 is with you, halfback. Finish him off for good. He does that one more time. Nice narrow, one more time. Nice and steady, buddy. There you go. Nice and steady. Deep breath, you doing good, we cool. Still inside.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I heard about
Did he
this.
say he's gonna get fucking dumped?
Yeah, he was talking about the 24 car of Clyde Elliott.
Say it isn't so.
Yeah, when I rewatched the race, it was the exact moment in 1 and 2 that I almost spun out the 78 because we like crossed bumpers. I don't know. He had a hell of a save, and I think Chase like kind of doored the 22 trying to go middle, and it almost wrecked the 22. And yeah, I guess he wasn't upset. He wasn't very happy with him.
I'm surprised he didn't say frickin' dumped.
Freaking.
I freaking dumped. Yeah.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah. Hey, man, it got into. I was mad at the end of the race that no one would pull out and go. I was pissed. I didn't get mad on the radio one time that whole race until at the end when I pulled down and no one wanted to go.
I
and
get
everyone
mad
was
too
just
when
riding
nobody
around.
wants to pull out and go.
Well, Monster Girls.
Speaking of pulling out and going,
Yeah, there was big controversy about having the monster females there.
I saw that on the Twitter.
What was Kim? Do you have thoughts on the topic?
I would guess that most people would assume I was like offended because I came from the Sprint Cup era, but I thought they looked great. I appreciate the female form. If there's an attractive female, I am more than likely to check her out.
Oh.
Would you get tactile?
I don't know if I would get tactile, but I think people were offended though because they spent like 10 years watching Miss Sprint Cup in Victory Lane, and relatively speaking, we were dressed like nuns. I mean, we were covered from neck to wrist
Wearing a fire
to
suit.
ankle.
You were literally wearing a fire suit in Victory Lane.
Yeah. But I will say this. So I spent a few years in the NFL wearing even less than the Monster Girls. And if I had my choice, I would prefer the fire suit over that, having done both, because there's definitely some negatives to having to wear that.
I think so. Well, I mean, people made such a big deal out of it, and obviously, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, it's what Monster has done forever. It's what they're known for. It's one of their top 3 things that they've said: motorsports and music and girls.
Yeah.
And you look at other sports, like you said, you were an NFL cheerleader, and NBA has their dancers here with the Hornets. UFC has ring girls. And NASCAR back in the 60s and 70s, they used to dress
they were
less
like bikinis
than the Monster Girls. So that, I don't. People always want old school NASCAR, and that's kind of getting back to old school NASCAR. So they were dressed fine. They had pants on and a top. It wasn't like they were in bikinis. So.
And they all looked good. Like they clearly care about their physiques.
And I will, say that I probably sound like a typical white male chauvinist pig, saying, "Oh, it's fine. They're wearing whatever they want to wear."
I'm the chick here, and I said they look great.
But
again, like I wouldn't, if I could choose between the fire suit and that, I wouldn't, because our role was different. So I don't know that we could have done our job as Miss Sprint Cup wearing that. I don't know that we would have.
Well, it's a different company.
It's a different role. 2, I like Chipotle. So, if I'm on my lunch break, like I'm going to have a hell of a hard time enjoying that Chipotle, knowing like I'm going to have to go back to the track in my 2-piece.
Right.
And then 3, like I said, in the NFL, it's similar. Like people come out to the stadium, they tailgate all day. It's hot outside. People want to take pictures with you. It's all about the fans. And when you're in a skimpy outfit, there's like slimy, sweaty men rubbing up against you. And I imagine because, there's similar tailgating happening at NASCAR tracks that's
true.
So it's not my favorite thing
I never thought
to
about
do,
that.
but I like the fire suit. It was a shield. It shielded me.
We're the same way. So it's great when we have our fire suit on. I don't mind getting my arm around someone if I am fire suited up.
Yeah.
I never thought about that.
It's a shield.
Yeah, that's
Because
nice.
you love spending time with the fans and you want to, accommodate them and give them all the pictures they want. But I got to tell you, like, when you're at Daytona in the middle of the summer, like it's the July race and people have been tailgating for the night race for 12 hours and they're just sweaty messes.
Yeah. It's nice to have some body armor.
Some protection.
Yeah.
I've never actually worn a fire suit, so I can't speak to that. And something else you guys have in common is you both have ridden in the Thunderbirds.
Oh, I forgot.
Yes.
Ryan got to ride in the Thunderbirds this time.
I did. When did you do it?
I did it last year. Last Daytona, I got to go up there with those guys.
It was great. It was fantastic. I'll get this out of the way. I threw up.
Little reversal of fortune.
I will make him feel better. I threw up too.
Good. I think
How does that work in a plane though?
So you're in this suit, and it's got 18 million pockets, and you know I love pockets. And it has
it had a fanny pack too.
It did. Yeah. And so there's actually a pocket. I think it was on the left leg of my suit. That gives you barf bags. Just like
is
you
it
would
a
have
barf bag dispensing pocket?
You have to unzip. It was kind of difficult for me to like reach down because you're strapped in to like get. I mean, I was like,
because you're in a fighter jet.
Yeah, you're in your you're strapped in there.
So I put mine in the little strap. We had a little elastic strap right there, so I put my bags here.
That was smart of you.
Quick access. So it made me kind of mad that I threw up because I was doing well, and it was after all of our maneuvers, and we're just kind of cruising up the coastline here for 10, 15 miles. Nice and peaceful. I'm recovering. All the blood is getting back to my brain, which was nice. And all of a sudden, he banked hard, and I had no idea it was coming. And I had to empty my stomach. And luckily, I had pineapple that morning. Fun fact: pineapple gets really sour sitting in your stomach for a few hours. So don't eat pineapple if you're gonna know that you're gonna throw up because it doesn't taste very good. But yeah, so I was good after. I mean, you feel great.
Yeah, I didn't throw up either until after everything was done. I was like, I thought I was like a badass. I was like, because, well, first of all, Larson told me that he had to come down early, I think, because he got so sick. And they tell you in the briefing, they're like, puke and rally. Like, go back to your college days because you're going to feel so much better. Well, I guess like Larson didn't do that, so he didn't get to do half the maneuvers. And then Logano had told me like he passed out on the ascent up. So like, yeah. I get through like the ascent, all of that. We pulled like 9.2 Gs. I'm like, I'm a motherfucking badass. And then we're just like cruising along, and I'm like, I do not feel well. I thought I wasn't gonna like be able to get. I wasn't as smart as you putting the plastic bags in the elastic. I like had to unzip my pocket.
Oof.
And they're a lot harder to tie. Did you have a hard time tying your barf bag?
A little. Did they give you a Ziploc baggie?
No.
Along with it?
No.
Oh. They've smartened up over the year.
They learned.
I had the big Ziploc baggie in my pocket, and then my barf bags in my elastic. So done it, spun that thing like a loaf of bread, half-ass tied it, threw it in my Ziploc baggie, made sure the Ziploc baggie was completely sealed, shoved that thing right down in my pocket, gone. I told the guy, I was like, hey man, left pocket, there's a barf bag. I want to get rid of that.
So when you got back on the ground, did you like Top Gun high five Eric Jones like in the swap, knowing that you had thrown up?
No, he wasn't there when I got back. So his plane broke.
Oh,
we were supposed to go tandem. We were supposed to do maneuvers, but his plane broke before they even took off. So I guess there was like a fire underneath, like a little burst of flame.
No.
So they had to cancel his mission, but he went up in mine after. But I was bummed we couldn't do the tandem. I thought that was going to be pretty cool. But no high five.
No high five.
No, I'm not cool like that. Sorry.
I was kind of like, hoping that at the end there'd be like that Top Gun beach volleyball high five.
With the music.
Yeah.
Slow motion. Yeah.
Playing with the boys. That's me singing. I'm sorry. I apologize.
It's actually pretty good.
It's better than my singing. That would drive you guys out of.
Want to do a glass case of emotion karaoke?
Well, I got a guitar. I mean, we can rock out.
We can rock out. Tune in next week.
Tune in next week when the glass case of emotion gets musical.
Yeah.
No, if I'm getting musical, nobody's going to listen to the podcast. I will drive people away.
We have auto tune. I feel like that's a thing.
That's why, I love going out to karaoke bars and enjoying the ambience and dancing and stuff. And I'll rock it out from my table, but I don't do the on mic stuff.
Oh, you got to do the on mic stuff.
Best place to karaoke on the circuit.
Yes. Go.
Oh my gosh, I have no idea.
Oh my God, how do you fail
best?
so hard?
The best.
You're failing.
I don't know what the best place is.
Oh, the best.
The best.
On the circuit.
Yes. Or your favorite karaoke spot. I mean, you don't have to give away where.
Saeed's Bar and Grill.
Yeah, I was going to say. I don't consider that
North Carolina.
the circuit.
Awesome.
Is it open again? Do we know?
I think it's still closed.
Okay. It's
think
closed
they're
for renovations.
remodeling. It's getting nicer.
It's very disappointing.
For my North Carolinians who have been there, shout out to Saeed. Karaoke bar, for those of you who don't know, in the back of a gas station.
Yes.
rundown gas station. But it's actually really nice. It's gotten nice over the past couple years.
And they have like outside the lights strung.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice. I mean,
they've classed it up a bit. I still wouldn't probably eat off the floor, but
would you anywhere? At a bar?
Eat off
not
the
at a bar.
There's like
That
mixed
was
drinks
just
and piss.
saying how dirty it is.
I don't know if there's anywhere, even like in my own kitchen, that I'd eat off the floor.
No.
Yeah.
5 second.
5 second rule.
5
That's
second
not
rule.
eating off of the floor. That is if
Well-
you dropped it. 5 second rule. You're talking about like getting a fork and knife out and like cutting the steak up on the floor. No.
5 second rule also has stipulations. 5 second rule only works for dry goods, like dry foods. Like if I'm dropping like a juicy piece of pineapple or
Yeah.
fruit, I'm not picking that up.
Well, yeah, the
eat.
residue sticks to it.
Yeah. So the 5 second rule, people talk about that all the time, but they don't get into the logistics. It's only for dry foods.
Just like a,
So
like
says
a
you. I mean, if I cook something when I'm camping and I drop it and it hits the ground, I'm going to wipe it off on my leg and pop that sucker in
and
there.
that depends on the surface. Let's talk about the surfaces. Kitchen
Dirt?
floor, yeah,
Yeah.
it's more than 5 seconds, to be honest with you. I could do 10,
Mm-hmm.
15 maybe, 20 if I'm drunk. If it's like dirt, yeah, like you're camping, no, sorry.
no.
It can hit the ground for 1 second.
like
I'm not eating
mulch,
it.
sand, any of those surfaces not happening.
I say it all depends on how hungry you are.
That's true.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Like if you're just hammered and there's like a big juicy steak and you flip it,
Oh.
you drop it
Well,
on dirt. Or how
You
about
just-
this?
you can't predict.
If you're at Coachella and you just, there's a lot of weird things on the floor at Coachella.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Or
weird
Burning
things
Man.
in general.
Coachella, Burning Man, I don't know if I'm going to eat anything that I see on the ground.
There's like a mixture of mud, piss, and shit on the ground at those places.
I'll pass.
Fun story real quick. I was camping one time and we were out for like 2-3 days and it was on a hike, came back. Buddies of mine looked on the ground and saw a Twizzler sitting there. And like they looked at it, they looked at each other, then they looked at me, and then they looked at it and they picked it up and split it in half and ate it. And I was
Wait,
like, what the hell are you two doing? You don't know how long that thing's been there.
They don't know the source of the
They don't know the
Twizzler
source.
either?
It was just a Twizzler sitting there on the side of the trail.
That's
Yeah. Bold.
it's very bold.
Did not predict that. Something else that wasn't predicted. Kurt Busch, Victory Lane. Let's take a listen real quick to what he had to say.
The more that becomes unpredictable about Daytona, the more it becomes predictable to predict unpredictability. I mean, this car is completely thrashed.
So yeah.
I could predict that he was going to say something like that.
Could you?
He like speaks in riddles sometimes, and I don't know if he makes it up on the spot or he like rehearses.
Is that something you do? Like you're sitting there in the car,
Like,
you
this
just
is
win
what
a
I'm gonna
race, and you're
say.
like, all right, now I'm gonna go into Victory Lane and I'm gonna say rhubarb in Victory Lane.
We should give you a word each week that you have to say in your post-race interview.
Like
Sneak
velvet?
in.
Like velvet?
Like, well, you had
Yeah,
you had the
was
velvet
nice.
thing, but just a word each week that in your post or pre-race interview you have to drop in.
But like every single interview throughout the weekend, you have to drop in at least a couple times.
and
Well,
it
I mean,
can't
that's up to
be
you.
predictable when you do it in the interview.
It's got to be unpredictable.
Yeah.
All I'm
Because you
asking
can't predict predictability.
is for
can't do
just
that.
one drop of whatever word.
Okay. Well, it
Some-
can't, it's got to be
sometimes throughout the
TV
weekend.
appropriate.
Yeah, like sausages.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be good. Atlanta. Dropping sausages. I will get interviewed
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
because
Now, do you?
I don't know why, but I probably would. And at some point in the weekend, I'll drop a couple sausages.
Do it.
Is it easier to do in practice or on race day?
Anytime.
Or you just like too in the zone on race day?
No. In any time. Race day, pre-race, Friday practice. I can work in sausages.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've never had a sausage. Working that shit in.
So that is something that we can predict on this podcast for this year is that we can come up with words, maybe get fans involved on the tweeter,
Perhaps.
Yeah, we can tweet
Take
it.
suggestions.
social engagement. I mean, we will vet them. Like we're not going to use the political word. We're going to vet it, make sure that we're not like throwing crazy words out there.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea. We
I
should
like
get some
it.
fans involved.
Let's get fans involved.
All right.
Boom, fans involved.
So we'll have
here.
to wait till Vegas to do
Yeah,
a new
and,
word.
and we get fans.
Hopefully
If
we
we
have
have
fans.
And then
Well,
there will be a couple.
we'll find out.
We'll get Dale Jr. involved, right?
That'd be great.
Yeah,
Everyone likes Dale.
he's got
He
fans
does.
He has some fans.
and a podcast.
And he has a podcast. He does.
And I just feel like it's fair if we're mentioning his podcast that he mentioned ours.
Yeah. I just
I mean,
did
we're
drop
giving-
this podcast.
You
in
did.
ours.
So now it's
now he-
reciprocal.
I'm gonna text him and be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
I gave you a shout out. Help us out."
Yeah.
Because I mean,
Reciprocate.
The Dale bump on Twitter,
Yeah.
dude,
Synergy.
synergy.
Yeah.
So that's what this podcast will be about. It'll be about synergy.
Look at you, big man on campus.
You heard it here
I'll ask
first.
him. Tune in next week.
Tune in next week
For some
on A Glass Case of Emotion.
predictable unpredictability.
OTPH shit. Hey, Chuck.
Yeah.
Cue that fucking music. Let's get out of here. No, don't use that.
There's your music.
Okay, we'll go with that one.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in. For myself, Kim, and Chuck, this is Glass Case of Emotion. Talk to y'all next week.